Hey, so just have to do the update on the Whitemane saga, Dwarflord versus the world, or I don't know what you want to call it, but a little bit of a banger video today with some world PvP. You don't always see that on Whitemane. Again, it is a survey that has a lot of history with some pretty crazy wars and stuff like that. I've talked about it a little bit, but not a whole ton. But when a server is around for many, many years, there's a lot of history to it. And in this one, it's just some people beefing to the point where AQ40 is stream smite. They know that Dwarflord is going to be here, and that's not the viewpoint that we're watching. What we're watching is just an AQ40 that's trying to get inside the instance and do the raid. Okay, like this guy's caught in the middle. So who this guy is Yes Master. Give him a follow on Twitch. He's a really good flag carrier, and it's cool to see more people that are from Anniversary coming back to Era. And I do think that's one kind of downside, right? Where some of these guys, I mean, maybe him as a previous PvPer, he's on a rank 14 warrior right now. Maybe he likes the more lively world, but some people are just caught in the middle, right? Like besides this raid right here, there's just other raids that, or people, what they're doing. But maybe that's the world, right? Maybe that's what Dwarflord's saying when it comes to just more activity, and that being good for Whitemane, according to him. But we just saw Dwarflord there, so what we're witnessing here is just the lay of the land outside the instance, where here's Dwarflord getting mind controlled, polymorphed, just controlled over and over. And we'll talk about that more from Dwarflord's perspective here soon. But I don't recommend doing what this guy's doing here. This is not a good example of individual gameplay when there's a whole ton of action going on. Maybe he didn't realize fully at this point what was happening. But when situations get lively like this, you just don't want to be in a situation where you can get held hostage. And he goes and gets a sand. Um, so this is GDKP Daily that we're watching here, actually, to give more context. As the general host of AQ40, as the general host of the Discord, we don't do sands for any raid. I understand for AQ40 why you might do it, but this is just not something that I recommend doing when there's potential PvP and craziness happening. You want to be as a raid group at the instance and not worried about logging out with the sand. But anyways, we're gonna change to Dwarflord's perspective here soon. So let's see Dwarflords from the start here, where what they were doing is Atiesh, they got an Atiesh, and then he was PvPing, and got people at Songflower. So they kill So Vicious. So they get their Maduro, if you want to say, and no more Songflower for the raid leader there that they have been after. So good play on stream. And I will say Dwarflord is a Chad for streaming all of this activity that's happening here. There was probably about 60 to 80 people that were stream sniping him to some capacity throughout this encounter that we're going to be seeing here next. So he does end up, all the Horde end up dying, Alliance end up winning this fight, but some people do lose their Songflower. So unfortunate. And that ends up being the end result here is it's just people instead of people versus mobs, right? Like it's just interesting to see the different dynamic changes in servers. Um, and again, from the perspective of the GDKB daily side, where they're just like trying to raid, right? I'm not part of this raid group on this instance. I mostly am just involved in Nax right now when it comes to GDKP daily. But yeah, what we're seeing here now is bunch of mages. Oh, so what are they saying here? Okay, so bunch of mages up on the gates. Okay, so they scouted, and unfortunately, we don't get to see a super great perspective here now that he's logged out with his sand. But um, yeah, this is a situation here where it's about to get wild. So we'll go back to Dwarflord's point of view and see the start here. So there's some PvP, they have control outside, they all go inside, and while they all go inside, then they're using Dwarflord as a human totem, where all the Alliance then come out. They were in different hidden spots, and then they take over outside the instance. So his raid, Dwarflord's raid, has about 20-25 people inside the instance right now. And they are just camping Dwarflord. And the timing of when his cat, like, I don't know if he would have gotten away anyways, but this timing here is pretty hilarious. This is pretty funny. His cat is just always out to get him.
Furu, not right now. Oh my god, this cat. Oh my god, this cat.
So there was like mages invis potting, like this was a, like I said, and on the other case, another Maduro assassination attempt or kidnapping attempt, whatever you want to call it.
Bro, you're grieving.
So his cat gets him.
Make people kind of play this game instead of just AFK in town.
So yeah, that's kind of his take on it when it comes to people playing the game more. But Alliance have taken over.
You think Miko's out here griefing?
Giving you a heads up.
No, I am not. But so that's the thing, is they thought that I like more people are just stopping people trying to get in the instance, when it's the other side of things where people on the other side are just trying to raid, right? Like they're just trying to play the game and they can't play the game because of beef like this. So I do think that is unfortunate. So Alliance have fully taken over, both with the PvP side of the so vicious people, as well as just a GDKP guild that is trying to, or GDKP pug really, that is trying to do the raid. So this GDKP, when I say this, I mean my GDKP is stuck in the middle, right? We're not really playing sides. We're just trying to raid. And the only chance of us getting into the raid faster is if we held outside the instance there and just kept control, right? We weren't actively involved in the player control here that you're going to see, where it's a bunch of people that are just going to be constantly stopping people from getting inside the instance. And I know that there's been like some discussion as far as if this is like disruptive gameplay, going too far, and that kind of stuff. I'm definitely guilty of this myself in the past, of gameplay like this. A little bit of a reformed gamer, just when it comes to like time, right? Like, I guess if I was in a guild on guild war, is this something that I may think about doing more in terms of just like longer term stoppage of people and organizing that? Like, what else do you have to do, right? What are your mechanisms for PvP wars, right? And that then brings up the next question, right? Where is that line? And I don't even like saying the name, but he does have a spot in folklore at this point when it comes to tiny violin, and what he exposed to the more mainstream. There's been many, many times where people have wiped raids, and you saw it like all throughout the game, right? Like it's been a thing in World of Warcraft forever. That's just one of the things. But for him to have done it multiple times in hardcore raids is just one of those things that clearly, in that case, crosses the line, right? Where, oh, if you're going to PvP people in the Gurubashi arena or something like that, that's okay in hardcore. But if you are going to do some flag trick, I don't know, that there's a line, right? Like, are you going to purposely kill people inside instances? Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Ooh, big sneeze. So yeah, like where's the line? That's just the question.
Oh, he's next to the door, but he's getting like.
Okay, so we're gonna see here now where Dwarflord is going to just be controlled. Man, I have to sneeze again. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, so he's just getting controlled here.
Mail my gold yet?
More sneezes.
I'm mailing all gold out tomorrow.
Dwarflord, can I ask you something?
What do you want? What's the question?
Yeah, maybe you can answer this. I don't understand, but like mithril spurs, right? The materials on Whitemane to make them cost about 15 gold. I got like 10 of them on the AAH for like 25 gold, but people are selling them for 50 silver. Like, I don't understand that.
I don't know what you're asking me right now.
Okay, so that was just funny random. They're in the middle of a war, and this guy's just like, I don't understand why blacksmith training items don't go for much anymore. And it's just very interesting, like in era, if you're just not used to that supply and demand, of how. Anyways, it's just interesting. Sorry, feeling a little sick, but we're going to continue forward when it comes to what we're seeing here, which is just control. They really want to make it so that Dwarflord can't get inside the instance. But what they don't seem to understand is that Dwarflord's not even playing on this character. If they were better stream snipers, they would have fully understood that he's on his warrior inside the instance. That's what really matters right here. So he's just trying to gain as much aggro as possible, PvP aggro. So vicious aggro. So they have a full team on him, like 8-ish people that are just going to stay on this one guy, while a bunch of other people are up above. And maybe it was like 30-ish PvPers in total, and then like 15, 20 of GDKP daily that were outside the instance. So what did that make it? Like 50-ish people in total. They're about to get banged. So what do I mean by that? Well, we'll just continue here where they just continue to push Dwarflord farther and farther outside the instance. And Dwarflord's like, oh no, woe is me. I'm so alone and helpless. And then he cuts Discord and the troops come in. So they just get absolutely banged. But they used too much here. So it ended up being all okay, but I feel like maybe they used some sappers and stuff here. I don't know. Maybe that's just blast waves and like palm flame strikes, it looks like. So maybe no big cooldown usage there. But yeah, they just got absolutely walloped by a mercenary team that Dwarflord paid for, is my understanding. I don't know all the details, but if that's what he said, pretty funny. They just got absolutely owned. So while that happened, his Horde raid at the instance all zoned out. But they got owned by GDKP Daily. So unfortunately, we don't have a good viewpoint of that, again, because Yes Master was logged out with his sand inside the instance. But yeah, the Horde raid at AQ40 got wiped. So now this raid here has to go clear outside the instance alone. And I'm not going to show just the comms here, but Homeo was really right. He was trying to tell everyone, okay, we got to push. Now's the time. Go, go, go. Like, in this circumstance right here, these guys didn't realize how much force was up top here. Alliance had strong numbers still, and if Alliance had just pushed on these mages, a lot of who didn't still have FAPs and stuff like that, they would have gotten owned. Really good interference and crossplay by the Horde here to make a line, rebound, and get so that they can have the offensive rather than be put on the defensive. Because being put on the defensive here, I think they probably would have gotten owned. Just really good disengage and ability to set up properly. So this is just an experienced PvP group versus a bunch of pugs and so vicious PvP group. Really good use of LOS. They're just really coordinated here. And now they're going to get a ton of attention, and now they go on the offensive. So once they're already here, they pushed and spread everyone out, right? Where it ended up being like 10 offensive alliance, and all these defensive alliance are now caught off on their back foot. In World of Warcraft classic PvP, so much of it is just about who is on the offensive first and gets that upper foot of positioning. And it didn't look very good for the Horde at first. If Alliance had pushed when the Horde had first come in, I think they easily would have blown over the Horde. But instead, Horde used really good LOS, spread the Alliance out, and then pushed through as a single mage force. I mean, they had a whole ton more mages, right? They just had less numbers, but mages make up for that. So really good gameplay. It was close. Not many survived. Only like 4 or 5 of the mages of the hit squad survived, but that was enough. So really good. Dwarflord is happy here that he won the war. I thought it was over. The chat was cheering, and it was funny. The general increase in viewers. I want to say make sure that you give Dwarflord a follow on Twitch. Subscribe to him on YouTube. Definitely bunch of people stream sniping, like I said before. His viewership was at like 80, 90, and then suddenly he was at like 260, peaking around here, where obviously, you know, a bunch of these Alliance players are all watching from his perspective. So the fact they were able to pull this off was pretty sick. But now it just is going to get a little rough, where they get control, but it's Horde. And Horde are just not super great. I mean, no one's super great in Classic, right? Like, vanilla players are sometimes doing multiple things. I don't know. It's just a little clunky too, right? Like, you have to individually summon people. It has to be multiple people clicking. Soulstones, like, there's just all these little things, and it does add up to make it so that getting a 40-man group to an instance in itself is a challenge sometimes, as you see here. So they still have all the mages protecting. The Horde are in control. The Alliance are just staying dead. Some of them are like slowly rezzing. They get owned. Iggy uses a Petri here on the jump down. Pretty sick Petri, have to say. So then they take the mage port out. So it was a mercenary team for hire of like 15 minutes, and then they were gone. So after this point, it gets rough again. Suddenly the Alliance aren't quite as outnumbered. They don't have to deal with the mercenary team. And in some ways, it's a benefit to be dead if you're in a closed area like this, where 20-ish sappers in a semi-controlled area can do a lot of damage even if you're half health. It's all just about the coordination of when you do it. So that's what you're going to see happen here, where he is trying to get the raid to come in here. Let's just see what happens.
Get him inside. I'll do the assignments very fast.
So they think they won at this point. They think they've push down the alliance and there's nothing else going to happen. So they just need to click for one more summon, it looks like.
Yeah, make sure everyone's here. I'm gonna get the assignments done shortly here. Just focus on getting everyone in the raid.
Here it comes. It just seems so calm until it's not, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
So we don't get to hear the other perspective of the people in the raid
All right,
because
who are our
he's
tanks?
muted
Cowboy,
them, just so he can have more control.
Helljiggin.
Doesn't want to have all the stream snipers get full coordination understanding. But now they get owned.
Are you guys in Discord? Why? What? Are you guys AFK? Am I in the right Discord? QB, what the fuck is happening? Hornlords. Come on.
They all zone out. They
Oh
all
my
die.
god, you guys are AFK. It's so shameful.
Rip.
Like, okay. Yeah, we got some griefers in here. It's all good. It is what it is. I didn't see. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna invite a bunch of people.
So that's the challenge of AQ40 when it comes to the first couple mobs here are really deadly. And someone pulled the first mobs, and it's not like they just pulled one, right? They pulled multiple. They pulled the whole pack. So maybe I can try. Oh man, I'm showing in the lowest quality. That's so embarrassing. So 1600p or whatever this is, you get to see really clearly. Werewolf Hunt. That's who it is. Yeah, werewolf. So yeah, unfortunate. They wiped. Now we get to watch from Yes Master's perspective. Kind of. So super Popega perspective here that we're about to see.
Are you alive? Microphones tells me.
So Homeo is just
Don't
asking,
ignore
hey,
the
can
fact
anyone
that
do
I can't
anything?
coordinate some of the queue to tell me that they're inside a Q40 with a microphone tells me we cannot beat these people with 20. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the brain trust.
I
Like
agree.
the only people with microphones are gonna spawn with half health, so yeah, I need someone in AQ40 with a microphone.
I can log over. I'm outside of my mage with the volume up right now.
Are you alive?
So yeah, they just couldn't coordinate. This is going to, so we're going to see here at 540, and we can go to Dwarflord at, it'll be 840 in his perspective. So this is right before they get banged. So GDKP Daily is just trying to get inside the instance. And Homeo makes the call, guys, we have to sapper go for it if we're going to take over. So that's what they're going to do. But how can you do that when you have 20 bots? So what he's saying is, hey guys, I need the people inside the instance. Are you aware of what we're going to do? When we spawn, are you going to be able to come outside the instance at the same time? And no one's able to do anything. Like it's 20 bots inside here. Like people are moving back and forth, but no one's able to cue the mic. So then someone comes in that has a mic and they put a skull on them. And Homeo asks, okay, how many people are moving around with you? So they know, okay, we got 10 people that are, if they're bots, at least they are able to stack on me, go out at the same time, hopefully Sapper, pressed fear, that kind of stuff, right? So they have enough. But this guy just is not on the same page. He just runs out and gets one shot. So yeah, not the timing right there. So he dies, and then in a couple seconds here, they're gonna make the call. Okay, we're all gonna zone out. They do a timer, and they own him.
You're gonna zone out at the end of this timer. Get ready to pop your trinkets, pop your trinkets, pop your cooldowns, pop your trinkets, pop your cooldowns.
So they go for it, and very clean, easy time. It was not super hard. So they take over, and after a couple quick summons, last little bit, they're all good. So once you get those numbers, you have control like this. It's just kind of that battle back and forth, right? And it ends up bringing in more and more people. It's not like that GDKP Daily wanted to get caught in the middle, just trying to raid, and because of the battle of Savicious trying to slow Dwarflord down, it ended up bringing more raids into it. So, with that being said, it's over. They're inside the instance now that GDKB Daily is inside. Dwarflord is able to finally get his raid started. So, mercenaries, I don't know if they were really worth the hire, but at the end of the day, hooray, they get to raid. And they got rid of that one griefer that pulled the first pack. And now let's talk about that more. I think it's pretty lame to do that. And like I said, it's definitely something that's been done before. Tiny Violin is someone that definitely coined it. I don't want to talk much about this raid until the end here, what we're going to see. So they get beamed. Some guy's just going to walk in the middle here and purposefully pull and wipe the raid. So rip Dino Nugs. So Dino Nugs pulls right there, I think. Yeah. So Dino Nugs pulls and they wipe. But that's just like not a very good grief. I'm just going to be real. Like, it's so easy. You just teleport back to Cthulhu. They don't have world buffs out, so when it comes to like damage done, this was a very low effort grief. It's an easy one to do. I'm not really going to talk about all the other times in this instance that would have been so much better to do a grief, because there's so many more, and I don't want to highlight that, but this is just not a very good one. So yeah, where is the line? And I think this is crossing it personally, but at the same time, they're just going to go back, kick the guy, they're going to get a bigger cut. And this is the nice part of the GDKP meta, where you can have people that are griefing your raid, and you just kick them, and everyone else benefits more because of it. It's not like that you were rolling out loot while you're going here, that a griefer can take a piece of loot and then grief your raid. They just won't get the loot, right? Or they're going to pay a lot for it. And then you got gold off of them, and then you kick them and they don't get a cut. So yeah, they end up killing the boss, and hooray, it's over. Dwarflord kills AQ40 through the grief. And now just to segue it to another example this week that I have to talk about, let's just go ahead to Grayson's raid here. and he kind of talks about the PvP at the start too, which I think is interesting.
Actually, because I was getting stream snipe camped, and he was saying that I'm asking for it streaming or some shit, dude.
So yeah, I think that that is a little bit of an element sometimes when it comes to like the streaming element of people wanting attention because of it. That's just kind of a downside of streaming World of Warcraft, especially Classic, when it comes to you can just get owned if you're streaming. And Dwarflord did a really good job handling it overall, that he was able to get inside the instance within like an hour. So we'll just watch this. This is kind of funny. Okay, so it goes south to start. I mean, there's not much. There's like 10 pulls to get to this boss, but
Because it is
somehow until then it gets really rough. So
motherfucking ass.
this is just really ironic, where the deja vu right now is just hitting me. I've been in this exact spot, and we've seen a wipe before, but we're about to see another wipe.
Come on, guys, it's so
Hey Gary is a true
hard to stream and
about
play a game.
being
Cut him some slack.
that is
Why
Taylor
are
have
you
to
such
call
a
Spider-Man
cutback, Popcorn?
to have enough string and for him to swing around in a
Dude!
warehouse.
So it falls apart. They're gonna wipe here. It's pretty funny how it's people saying, "Man, you can't stream and raid at the same time," and then 1 second later, wipes because of it. So just dog patrols. That again, that's the deja vu for me, is that it always comes down in this area. That's the only way that you can wipe. You just need to be super hyper aware of where the dogs are. And I thought Grayson watched me trash talk him in the past and learned the lesson, but just is too distracted from his Twitch chat. So they wipe, and unfortunately, let's actually see this here. Okay, yeah, Gashil's a little triggered here when it comes to dispels. No one else is dispelling when it comes to the priests. And now's the time to say, Gashil, I could take credit for as a sleeper agent, but no, it is not something I can take credit for. We're going to see another upcoming instance of struggles here. And I just want to talk about it a little bit here. So they're going to finally get through this. Hooray. It's time to get to this boss. So I was asked, did you do this? No, this is not something, this is not a so vicious situation that I would pay another person to wipe a raid. I am related to Gashil, and I don't approve of this, but I think it's an example of a hand in a cookie jar. Like, you're just gonna grab it. And my understanding is that Gashil was given assist, and I don't think he's ever griefed a raid before, and I don't think he's going to again. But in this circumstance of having an assist in a Grayson raid, he decided to go for the W, and they're going to wipe here in this upcoming area. And it was a pretty tragic wipe. So Grayson is distracted here by dual boxing. That's a big part of it. He's trying to do two things at once. And then they ninja pull. So they were not ready to pull here. Hunter just randomly pulls. Really crazy.
You make me so mad, dude. Holy fuck, bro.
So he's trying to do too much at once here.
Jesus Christ, bro. Like, you just want me to... Dude! Fucking retard, bro. Dude, I swear Neon actually makes me so angry, bro. Holy shit, dude.
So it's gonna get rougher here.
I'm moving my Warlock over. I'm not even... Like, why do I need him to hold that? Like... It's so annoying.
So this is when the urge came over. I think Gashil just came to help out, and then the situation was realized of making it a crash out raid. So I can't listen to the TTS. I'm sorry. I don't know how he's. I mean, I guess he gets paid, right? So that's how he's able to deal with it. But we'll just watch the realization here. So during the TTS, while he's getting
Nice, bro.
screamed,
Cool, dude. Cool. Cool, you fucking idiot. Cool, bro. Oh my god, bro. You're so retarded. Yo, whisper me inv. Whisper me inv, dude.
so this was really good
Nice,
reaction
cool,
from him.
Gashol. You kick everyone during the fucking the run, bro. That's sick, dude.
So really good reaction from Grayson here, instantly saying to whisper inv. Unfortunately, he didn't have guild invites on. I mean, I understand why he doesn't, because then people would grief him that way too, of constantly trying to get in the raid and do crazy things. So he's smart to have it set to guild, but the problem is some people then might have gotten kicked out before the minute went out, but they wipe. They're just all outside of the raid at this point, and it could have been a lot worse, but I thought his reaction time here of instantly saying whisper me Iv was really, really good. So yeah, just unfortunate. Can't give assists to people that you don't fully trust, or disaster can happen, unfortunately. So yeah, big loss, and this definitely was too far, right? Just what it comes down to. So they do end up killing the boss here. Has to redo groups and stuff, which is just a pain. My advice is to have MRT as soon as you have your group set. I mean, normally you shouldn't have this kind of problem, so it shouldn't be as big of a deal, right? But if you're ever worried about having to redo groups and stuff, getting MRT, method raid tools, and just saving your group is really, really helpful. But anyways, they recover and they end up killing the boss. But I just wanted to talk about this side real quick here, where no, I am not going to claim responsibility for this act of terrorism, as that is what I see it as. However, I do have intimate details of it. And same with the other terrorism that we saw today in the Dwarflord situation. Was not part of it, but have intimate details. And that's why I feel like talking about it, right? It's interesting to see what's happening on the different servers, and just cases of like what is too far. And personally, I do think that when you get in the instance, it's kind of go time and you should be focused on the raid. And it does kind of separate you if you are someone who I wish I could talk. I'm clearly tired at this point. If you repeatedly have instances of behavior in raids that is just anti-social, you probably are not going to be invited back to many raids. And I think it is something that over time, if you are in different raids, you can definitely get reported for, and Blizzard can take action. I think in one single raid, if everyone reports you, it can be detrimental if mass report is just like that easy, right? A one-time instance is something that I think like it's hard for Blizzard to truly act on sometimes. But if you do it multiple times, like that is so easy for Blizzard just to go boom and you're gone, right? For some people that continually cause issues over and over and over, just get banned, right? And that's kind of the question then too, right? Like if it just is inside instance, or if disruptive gameplay of constantly mind controlling people and doing that thing every single week. There's all sorts of questions of like what is the line, and I think good old PvP is good old PvP, but when you are in a war, it is a war. And it's a little hard for me to say where that line truly is. But I think a good, healthy line is the instance. So just sharing some thoughts. But anyways, GG's, and until the next one. So just have to show the end clip of the day. After a Nax raid on Savish's side, they were rebuffing, and they just got absolutely owned by We'll just watch the entry. A grenade on top of everyone. This grenade just absolutely destroys them, and they just get womboed by like 10 mages. So way too stacked, and the island is going to continue to be a big hot spot where once a buff is dropping like that, the next minute is very, very dangerous, as you're seeing. So GG's, and till the next one.